Hello students, welcome to Science 2 lesson number 13, mapping our genes. We have done the whole life cycle, the various processes till now. So many processes we have seen in chapter 11 and 12. In the 12th chapter, we highlighted the importance of reproduction. Continuing with this life process, we are going to see how genetic matter is very important when we talk from one generation to another generation. What do you mean by mapping our genes? What are genes? Now, these genes actually are the characters which are transferred from one parent to this child. And we can say that the genetic matter actually is present inside the nucleus of the cell. So when the reproduction takes place, the crossing over of chromosomes happen. When the crossing over of chromosomes happen, the genetic factor which is present in the gene is transferred from both the parents to the offspring. When I talk of both the parents, I am talking of sexual reproduction. So in this chapter, we are going to see how genes can be mapped. Now we are not going to draw a map. Here, mapping our genes means we are trying to find out what is the gene responsible for, or how this genetic character is transferred from parents to offspring. We are going to see how it follows the genetic matter, how it follows, where it is present, how is it responsible, which characters is passed on from the parents to the offspring. So mapping our genes, we are going to study the inheritance of characters. When I talk of word inheritance, what does it mean? Inherited means I have got something from my parent. If I say I am tall like my father, that means I have got the character of tallness from the parent. The parent, when I say from my father, that means my father must be very tall person. So when a character is transferred from parent to offspring and which can be seen by us, the characters which are visible to us, not the inside characters, the characters which can be visible, we call it as I have inherited from my parents. So inheritance word is very important. Here the transfer of characters through the genetic matter present in the genes from parents to offspring takes place. This is called as inheritance. Now we come to know how the inheritance can take place. As we had studied in sexual reproduction, there are two parents involved. So one father and a mother. The characters from father and characters from mother is passed on to its child. Now, are all the characters seen in child which the father has and the mother has? No. You look different from your parents. Are you exact copy of your parent? Like a plant will give rise to a plant through a vegetative propagation. It will look exactly same. But in sexual reproduction, what is happening? You are not looking exactly same like your parent. Obviously, you are not also looking same like your brother or sister. You all are looking different. But you are all belonging to Homo sapiens, that is the species in which the human beings are there. So what causes this difference? In the vegetative propagation, as I had mentioned, it is an asexual mode of reproduction where no two different parents are involved. Only one parent is involved. So I can say the reproduction taking place through asexual reproduction is the child or the organism formed after reproduction is almost the same like the parent, because there is only one parent involved. Why I am not saying exact replica? Because there might be some small minor changes in the organism which is reproduced. But in the case of asexual reproduction, the gametes or the gamete from the male and the female have different characters. When this different male gamete and the female gamete fuse together, it forms a zygote. Now this zygote has got the chromosomes from its mother as well as the father. And then it starts dividing, the cell division starts. When the cell division starts, it forms the tissues. the tissues forms the organ forms the organ system, and a whole baby is formed. Now here I am talking about the higher animals and the human beings. Now in sexual reproduction, the 2n number of chromosomes were divided. It forms from diploid to haploid, n from the father, n from the mother, fused together, again forming a 2n number of chromosomes. But now here the 2n number of chromosomes have different characteristics. So we are going I am trying to highlight what is inheritance. The inheritance means that getting the characters from the parents through the crossing over of the chromosomes, getting the various variations due to it. We have talked a lot about variations. The variations occur because there might be some error in the DNA mapping. Obviously, errors are bound to happen as two different chromosomes, two different male and female gametes are there. So these variations create an organism with some differences in the characteristics. And this difference, now if I talk about my generation, I am looking different than my parents. My parents look different from their parents. That means generation to generation, the characters are sent or are inherited, but with various variations. These variations, are they limited to my generation, or am I going to pass it to the next generation? Obviously, my generation also will pass on these variations to the next generation. The next generation, when it is formed, will have its own variations. So many times you must have seen a child does not look like a parents, but a child looks more like a grandparents. Many times it happens, if a child has a blue eyes, then we suddenly remember that parents don't have blue eyes. Then what do? We say maybe the grandparents have. Yes, maybe if one of the grandparents have blue eyes, it is passed on from generation to generation. Then why this blue eyes was not seen in the case of parents? It was not seen because this blue eyes character was not dominant in that generation. I am using the word dominant. That means there are some characters of your parents which are seen on us. When it is seen in us, those characters are dominant characters. And the characters which are present with parents but not seen in me, seen, only seen, that means it is a recessive character. The character is present in me from my parents, but that is not seen by others. And that character which is inside me, but it is not seen by any other person, is called a recessive character. So two new words which we have to understand is dominant character and recessive character. Now these variations, the generation to generation, when we are passing the chromosomes, the body design of our human beings will be remaining same. We will be born with 2 hands, 2 legs, the body, the eyes, the nose, everything in that place. But what is difference? There is a error mapping there is error in the DNA mapping, and which leads to variations, in your appearance, and that variations are passed on again to the next generation. And this is how generation after generation variations get accumulated. It doesn't mean that I am taking the variations along with me. I am passing out my variations to the next generation also. So this was about what is inherited characteristics. The characteristics which we get from parents from one generation to another generation is called as inherited characteristics. Now from inheritance the word heredity comes. You must have heard it's in the heredity. Means what? This word has come from inheritance. Heredity is defined as transmission of traits, that is physical trait or mental trait, from parents to offspring. Now transmission of traits. This is transmission of traits, whether physical or mental, from one generation to another generation. Now here, this why I am writing the definition on the board, because this question comes many times. Define heredity. Heredity is defined as the transmission of traits, physical or mental, from one generation to another generation, or you can say from parents to offspring. Now what do you mean by the word traits? T-R-A-I-T-S. I am talking about the word characters. Characters means what I see in my parents, maybe the tallness, the dwarfness, the hair, the looks, the eyes, the way I am walking, the way I am keeping my hand. All characteristics are coming from your parents. You don't have your own. You first get the characteristics from your parents, then there is a DNA mapping error and some variations come to you. So the transmission of traits, that is physical, I said what I can see, and mental also. Now many children are very intelligent like their parent, one of the parent. Many children are very smart like their parent. Many might have good IQ like their parent. Many will be having very strong willpower like their parent. So if these characteristics which are not seen but can be felt, which are mentally related, those characteristics are also the hereditary characters. So the transmission of traits, physical or mental. Physical, the ones we can see. Mental, the ones we can assume or we can feel that this person is mentally, intellectually very similar to the parents. So this characters, when it is transferred from parents to offspring, this is called as heredity. All the lesson, whole lesson is based on this word heredity. Now these hereditary characters, how are they passed, which is from dominant, which is recessive, all this research work had gone lots. Lot of scientists have done this research work, and one of the scientists who highlighted this point was Gregor Mendel. Gregor Mendel was the scientist who studied very vast and very deeply into the characteristics which are passed on from parents to offspring. He did many experiments based on his experimentation. He came to many conclusions, and that we are going to see in his law, Mendel's law of inheritance. He gave a law, Mendel's law of inheritance. Mendel's law of inheritance was based on various experiments which he did. He did the experiments on plants because he could see the characteristics very easily and very fast. He did not have to wait long time. So he did lot of experiments especially in the 18th century. He did lot of experiments in the 18th century, but unfortunately his experiments were not accepted. By the time 20th century came, the people started recognizing his work, and then he was recognized as the father of genetics. He is called the father of genetics because he came to the conclusion how the characteristics are sent from parents to offspring, what is inheritance, how it can be proved that the first generation is different from the other generation. So that's why he gave a law that's called as Mendel's law of inheritance. Now what is this law based on? This law will be based on something. This law is based on that he has said the father and the mother contribute equal number of chromosomes. As you know, a human being will have 23 pairs of chromosomes, right? So 23 pairs of chromosomes, pairs, that means total 46. So when I say equal contribution from parents, that means the father and the mother is there, the 23 chromosomes come from father and 23 chromosomes come from mother. This is how 23 pairs of chromosomes are formed in a new organism or new baby. So this Mendel's law of inheritance is based on the theory that the 2 pairs of chromosomes, 23 pairs of chromosomes are equally contributed by father and mother. So now what type of experiments Mendel did? You have to understand this, that Mendel first tried all experiments on plants. He took a simple pea plant found in his garden, and this pea plant is known as Pisum sativum. He did it on pea plant. The botanical name is Pisum sativum. So he did the experiment on pea plant. What did he consider? Now pea plant, you all know how pea looks like. So pea plant also has flowers, pea plant also has seeds, pea plant has the covering of the pod, pea plant has leaves. So which characters he must have taken for doing his experiments? So he took a number of traits, a number of characters into consideration. He took the round seeds and the wrinkled seeds. He took the red flower and the yellow flower. He took the smooth seed or the rough seed. Then he took tall and short plant, and he took the positions of flowers. That means whether it is axial position or it is terminal position. Then he took yellow and colored, green colored pod. Pod means inside which the peas are present. When we open it, that we get the peas. So he took the colors of yellow and green pods. Then he also took grey and white color of seed coat. So many traits he considered for doing his experiments. So let us first, you can write down how many traits he took for various contrasting characters. First he took tall and short plant. So this is the first character he considered. Then second character he considered red and white flowers. Third characters he considered round and wrinkled seeds. Fourth character he considered axial and terminal position of flower. Fifth character he considered green and yellow colored pod. Sixth character he considered white or grey. White or grey color seed coat. These are the traits he considered for his experiments. Gregor Mendel gave the law of inheritance, and this law he gave after doing so many experiments on a simple pea plant which he found in his garden. Now he saw that one single pea plant had so many different characters. That means its flowers were all available in red color, white color. Its seeds were available in round and wrinkled. That means one is smooth, one is wrinkled. Then some pea plants are tall, some pea plants are short. Then he found that some flowers are at the axial position, some are at the terminal position. He also saw that the pod in which the peas are present, they are green colored and yellow colored, and seed is covered by a seed coat. That also had different colors, white and grey. He said, in one simple flowering plant, if I can get so many characters, there are so many characters in human beings which can be transferred, right? So he first lined up all the characters or the traits which he wanted to try in his experiment. Then he started the experiment, and that experiment we can say he started with one pair of characters. When I say one pair of characters, that means either he must have taken tall and short plant, that means one tall, one short, and cross it. That means if in his garden he has various flowers, various plants, one of them is tall, one of them is short. So he will take those two, cross the chromosomes and see what is the next generation. Then he did the experiment with flowers. A plant which has red flowers and a plant which has white flowers. If he takes these two characters, then what is the result in the next generation? If he took round and wrinkled seeds, round seed and wrinkled seed, so in next generation, which will be highlighted, which will be dominant, that he wanted to see. So in his experiment, Mendel first took one of the traits from these traits which he observed. Now he cannot take one trait, he has to take one pair of trait. If he is taking tall plant, he has to take a short plant along with it, so that he can compare what dominant characters are coming in the next plant and which character is not seen in the next plant. So in the simple experiment, he took red and white flowers. So this trait he considered red flowers and white flowers. He called that one will be dominant and one will be recessive. So let's see how this crossing took place. And he gave the name to it monohybrid cross.